Welcome to the Explainer. Today we are tackling a beast. You know the one, the gapped text. It's that part of the exam that can make your stomach drop. But what if I told you it's not a monster? What if it's actually a puzzle and you just need the key to crack the code? Okay, let's dive in. For so many of us, this is it. It's the part of the reading paper that just feels impossible. You've got this long text, big chunks of it just ripped out. Then you've got a list of paragraphs to fit back in, and to make it even worse, one of them is a total fake out. All while the clock is just ticking away. It really does feel more like a stress test than a reading test, right?
But here's the secret. This is the big mindset shift you need to make. Stop thinking of it as a test you're about to fail. Start seeing it for what it really is, a logic puzzle. It's a puzzle that you can absolutely solve. Because every single clue you need is sitting right there on the page. You just have to know what to look for.
And that brings us to the core strategy. Success here isn't really about memorizing 1,000 vocabulary words. It's about putting on your detective hat. You gotta approach this text like a detective arriving at a crime scene. You are looking for evidence. You're searching for connections, for the hidden logic that holds the whole story together. You know, the best way to think about this is like a jigsaw puzzle, for real. The main text has all these holes in it, and the paragraphs you're given, those are the missing pieces. Each piece has its own unique shape. I'm talking its meaning, its language, its logic. That means it can only fit perfectly into one single spot. So let's get a little more specific with that puzzle idea. Some of your pieces connect on both sides of the gap. They have to make sense with the sentence before and the sentence after. These are amazing. They are your anchor points. They lock into place and give you certainty. Now, others are a bit trickier. They only really connect on one side. Understanding which kind of piece you're holding, that's a huge advantage. Now, here's a really important warning. It's so tempting to just scan the text and try to match a single word, you know? Like you see the name Smith before the gap, so you look for a paragraph that also says Smith. That's a trap, and the test designers know you're going to do it. The real clue isn't one word. It's the entire paragraph, the flow of the idea, the logical development. That's what you're trying to match. So if we're detectives, we need a toolkit, right? We need to know what kind of evidence we're actually hunting for. Well, we can boil down all those little tips and tricks into a really simple, powerful toolkit that has just 3 main categories of clues. And here they are. First, you've got your connectors. Think of these as the linguistic glue holding the whole text together. Second, you have reference clues. These are the little threads you can follow from one sentence to the next. And third, structural signposts. These are the big picture clues that reveal the author's roadmap. Let's break each one down. Okay, first up, connectors. These are words that basically scream the relationship between ideas at you. Is the author switching gears and showing a contrast? Are they explaining the reason for something? Or are they just piling on more information? These words are like bright flashing neon signs. You can't miss them. And this just makes it crystal clear. Imagine the paragraph before, a gap is making a really positive point. Then you look at your options, and one of them starts with the word however. Boom, you've just found an incredibly strong clue. Honestly, these words are your absolute best friends in solving this puzzle. Look for them, highlight them, circle them. All right, tool number 2 in our toolkit is all about following the reference trail. This is where your inner detective really gets to have some fun. See, an author isn't going to just keep repeating the same name or noun over and over. It sounds clunky. Instead, they use pronouns and other references to make it flow. Your job is to trace those references back to what they're talking about. Okay, look at this example. Let's say a paragraph ends with this line, and he knew that was the only answer. Now, this sentence seems simple, but it is a goldmine of clues. It's got 2 really important reference words, he and that. Both of these words are like little arrows pointing backwards to something that must have been mentioned just before. So, here's the key. You have to turn those little words into big questions. You see the word he? You ask yourself, who is he? You see the word that, you ask, what is that? The paragraph you slot into that gap has to answer those questions. If it doesn't, it's a wrong piece. This simple habit is a total game changer. And that reference trail, it goes way beyond just he and it. Look at how names are used. An author will almost always introduce someone with their full name, like John Smith, before just calling them Smith later on. And watch out for synonyms and paraphrasing, where an idea is said in a slightly different way, like people in the public eye in one sentence becomes celebrities in the next. These are all threads connecting the puzzle pieces. And finally, our third tool, structural signposts. This is about zooming out and looking at the whole architecture of the text. For instance, does a paragraph end with a direct question? Well, you should probably look for an answer at the start of one of your options. Do you see time markers like at that point or 3 years later? That tells you you're following a chronological story. It's all about seeing the author's bigger plan. Okay, we've got our detective mindset, we've got our toolkit packed with clues. So how do we actually put this all together into a reliable method that you can use every single time? Well, it breaks down into a really simple 4-step game plan. Step 1, just read the main text with all the gaps in it to get the general idea. Don't try to solve anything yet. Just get the flow. Step 2, now go back to each gap and really analyze the sentences right before and right after. This is your clue hunting phase. Step 3, investigate your options. Read through those loose paragraphs and highlight all the connectors and references you can find in them. And finally, step 4, make the match. Put the piece in that seems to fit best. And this is crucial, read it one more time to make sure it sounds smooth and logical. And here's a little something to keep you going when you feel overwhelmed. I know looking at 7 or 8 options feels impossible. But think about it. Every single time you place a paragraph correctly, the puzzle gets easier. Your odds get way better. That last choice you have to make, it's not a 1 in 7 guess anymore. It's a simple 50-50, 1 in 2 decision. You actually build momentum as you go. And here's the final pro tip. You know that one extra paragraph that's left over at the end, the one that doesn't fit? Don't just ignore it. Use it. After you think you're done, go back and try to force that leftover paragraph into every single gap. It shouldn't work. It should feel clunky and wrong everywhere. And when it does, that's your final confirmation that you've probably gotten the other ones right. It's your ultimate safety check. So what is the big takeaway here? What have we learned? It's that the gap text isn't some impossible wall designed to make you fail. It's a structured puzzle. And you are no longer just a student taking a test. You are the detective. You now have the right mindset, seeing this thing as a puzzle you can solve. You have the toolkit. You know to look for connectors, references, and structural clues. And you've got a clear step-by-step game plan. You are absolutely equipped to walk into that room and crack this code. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. This isn't just about an exam, is it? It's a way of thinking. When you learn how to break down a complex problem like this, you're learning a skill you can apply anywhere. So what if some of life's hardest challenges aren't challenges at all? What if they're just puzzles, waiting for a detective like you to show up with the right tools?